Okay, so this video will now focus on basically integrating Firebase to your project. So if you just move towards the content view file, right click on it, and it must have a refactor option with rename. So let's just call it main view for now. And inside view, okay. So we could either create a view model inside a subfolder inside views itself, or we could have another folder for view models. I mean, it helps you to keep things in place. You do command in here, select a Swift file, and let's call this main view model. Here you would have a class main view model, which would be an observable object, and this is about it. We could add SwiftUI here as well if by chance we need it. Coming back to the main view, we would start by creating an observed object for our view model, which would be of the type main view model, and here we can actually just delete this whole thing, and we would add another vstack, and this vstack should have some kind of spacing so that if we add multiple items, they are displayed over the whole screen in a better manner, I would say. So we could just write a text here that you are now signed in, and here you could add a button and an action and a label. So the action would be like something as view model dot sign out, and for now we could just go to the view model and add a function here called sign out. Could yep, and we can have no implementation for now. Coming back here for the label, we would do a text which would obviously say sign out. What else is there? So we will add a custom font.custom, then we select fonts dot bold, and since it's inside a button, let's give it a size 18 or something. Then we would have a font weight of bold. By the way, I don't think so it will work because it's our custom font and not the Apple font. So if we can select foreground color, we should give it a color black. Then we can have some padding around it. It's the same as we did for the toast view, and here we would have a frame with a max width of infinity, not in it but infinity. Now we can have some background color, so we would do color UI color, and let's give it a primary yellow color. So this color is specifically referencing from this file which I showed in the last video. So here are the hex codes for different colors. You could use your own colors as well. So a quick website I wanted to show you for that is Coolers. Basically they have a lot of color palettes on their website, and you could just simply go through the color palettes and select which ones do you like. So suppose you like the color here, you select on it, it copies the hex code to your clipboard, you paste it here, you create a new function called new coolers color, and you can just cut it from here and add it here, and this is now your new function. Although this is not required, but I'll just leave it here for now, and we can just do continue. Let's have a corner radius to our button as well. What else can we do? So right now, if you see, if we can imagine, the button would be like, it would have a font, then some foreground color and a background color, but it won't have any kind of stroke to it. Like, how about we give it a border or something? So for that, I would be using overlay, which is another modifier in Swift UI. And for overlay, we would use a rounded rectangle with a corner size of 10 itself. And this rounded rectangle, maybe not corner size but corner radius, and this rounded rectangle will not have any kind of fill but only a stroke, and this stroke would be dot black with a line width of, let's say, 4. Let's make it like a thick border thing. And this v stack, let's just give it some padding just in case, it looks better overall in the app. So now that we have done this much, I'm just thinking of the things that we need to, like, go through. So obviously we would have to integrate with Firebase, but I also remember this one thing, that since we have like since we have this view created right now, and you must have noticed that I'm not passing in the view model, like I'm not initializing it here. So I would have done either state object private var view model is equal to main view model with a parenthesis to basically initialize the class here, but I'm taking this in as an argument. So what would happen is that if I try to run it right now, and I'm assuming the core file, this file must be having my main view as the, yeah, so it will throw us error because now it needs a view model here. So we could just quickly go over this, and it's not much of a setup. So basically what we could do is come over here and do the state object thing here. Simple as that. So basically we declare state object var view model, which would be of the type main view model. And now that we have done this much, it asks us for a view model, and we will give it a view model. And inside window group, we would actually enclose our view as a navigation stack, since we want to use the Swift UI navigation for the entire app. So this was it, and now that we run the app, it should most probably work. Let's just see. And obviously that we have now created a view with a sign out functionality. We would actually create a view for a sign in functionality as well, and we could use some sort of a boolean to show either of the view depending on if the user is authenticated or not. So for that purpose we would actually need Firebase, and this was the design I was going for, but like totally depends on you if you want to use the the other color. So for example, we could use the new colors color, run the app again, and let's just see how does it come out to be. So okay, even this looks fine to me. So it's totally up to you which colors you want to use. And now that we have created a simple button inside our app, we could also do this one thing, that we extract some of the things from here, so that again and again if we are creating buttons, we could actually reuse them. So those things come into the improvement section, not exactly in our v1 version. I mean, we could actually take those things up once we have the functionality down and ready. So for now, let's just go to Google, and now we no longer need this. We could just go to Firebase. We click on Firebase and you should see something like this. I go to console and it says get started with a Firebase project. So you click on here and let's call this my social media app. The project name could be anything. It doesn't have to match with your app specifically, because a project can contain the iOS part of it, the Android part of it, the web part of it as well. So not really required, but yeah, you could name it same as I have done here. So you accept the Firebase terms and conditions, and I confirm that I will use Firebase exclusively for the purposes relating to my trade business. Okay. So we need to check these two things, and now we click on continue, and it asks you if you want to enable Google Analytics for this project. So what happens is that when you will install the Firebase package into your system, you would also need these analytics things. So for now, this specific purpose, I mean, you could really like make good use of this feature, like the analytics thing. But for now, I would not go with this route. But I could suggest you that you can do that, or you could do that at some later point in time when you want to integrate analytics into your app. So let's just continue with creating a project. It will take like a couple of seconds, I think, and it will create a project for us. And there would be like one step remaining for us to just, link the project to the Firebase project. So for that, we would actually need the bundle identifier. And coming to the point, I remember that, let's go here itself, signing capabilities. So I don't think so. This looks really neat. I mean, why is my social media app coming twice? So I would just make it like a reverse DNS kind of URL identifier basically. And now I've added .com. You could actually name it anything what you want. And now that I've done this, let's just run this app once more, even though it just automatically signs it up to your uh, app store applications. So it's not really an issue here. Now that we have done this much, your Firebase project is ready. We click on continue, and there it would show you several options, but what you need is add an app to get started. We'll click on iOS. It asks for your Apple bundle ID, so we'll just select this, paste it here. Nickname would be my social media app. App Store ID you don't really need, it's optional. So let's click on register app. Now it would give us a config file, and it is like telling us itself like where do you need to put this file in. So how about I just download the file. So in a few seconds it will start to download, and it's done. You'll notice that the name of my file is a little misspelled. It's only the reason because I did this thing a while back, and because that Google service info plist is also in my downloads folder, so it created a bracket one alongside it. But for you, you would actually need to, let's take this file, put it inside resources, click on finish. We click on does it have a rename option, or let's triple click on it, and now we remove this like this. And I mean, it says to add it to the root of your project. So how about we actually do it like this? Just for now, we will check that thing also, that if we specifically need to add it inside, the other file, like inside the folder, if it's fine or not. So now that we have done this much, let's run the app again, because I don't think so there are any more steps. Okay, we do have the add Firebase SDK step, but just making sure the info plist is not throwing any error. It is not. Yes, so it says you use Swift package manager to install the Firebase dependencies. So let's just copy the git link. Now we go here, we go to files, and inside files we should have add package dependencies up here itself. Now it would ask us to add a URL here, which we would select the Firebase iOS SDK. We select up to next major version with the current version, whatever they give you, and we will obviously add it to the project. You click on add package. It will take a few seconds to just fetch the details, and Soon all the Firebase required SDKs will be installed onto your system. Before that, I think it would ask for one extra step, and it would give us an option like what all dependencies do you actually need. So we could select them out, like which things we need. So coming to my point again, that we would use Firebase storage, we would use Firestore, we would use the authentication functionality. So these are the things we need to add our packages around. So let's just wait for it to resolve quickly. Meanwhile, we could just go and, okay, if we click on next, it gives us some initialization code as well. So okay, and it also telling us that you need to do it something like this. So I mean, this is pretty much sorted for us because our app is actually in SwiftUI itself. So we could do this. So for that purpose, let's just quickly come back and okay. So it is adding all of this stuff into our target, and you could actually just go over it and remove certain things because it could make a slight bit of increase in your project build time. But let's just leave it for now, and we'll see if it's causing too many, it's taking too much time, let's say, to build the project. Then we will definitely look around this thing. So now that we have added Firebase, it asks us to add this Swift UI code. So how about we take this entire chunk of code, copy this. Okay, this is copied. We go to our core, we paste this here, then we copy this entire thing. Oh, it says no module found Firebase core. Okay, let's just do shift command K. And we'll do Firebase core. And now we have copied this code. We do this, and here we would add this line right here. So now we could try running our app to see that if it's being initialized or not, and probably we would see some kind of log as well. So this would make sure that Firebase is actually being configured inside our project when it launches. So let's just wait for it to build. And meanwhile, okay, it's asking us to add all of this code. We have certainly added all this. And then if I click on next, it says you're all set. Okay, continue to console. So console must be looking like this, something similar only if your name is different or something. And it is asking us about the new Gemini feature. We don't really need it for now. Oh, I just noticed that the new app, okay, so interesting thing. The reason why we changed the bundle identifier and now our simulator is actually, okay, so we're actually getting a lot of Firebase. Okay, so we're getting logs from Firebase. No need to look deep into them as to why is this error and what's it saying about, because they are not directly related to our work. But yeah, okay, so it's working, and we just noticed that our application is actually duplicated. It's only because of the reason that we have changed the bundle identifier of our application. So now it registers itself as a totally new app. So that's why it created a duplicate. So we just uninstall the previous app. Let's just build it again. Builds all fine. So in the coming few videos, we will just build the authentication screens, and then we'll write functionality for signing in and signing up, and then we would write the functionality to sign out as well. So these are the 3 tasks we will mainly focus on, and I hope to see you in the next video then. Thank you.